So this is my first game as Charizard in a tournament. Opened Rotom, not feeling super great about my opening hand. I'm just going to insta-charge, see what's going on the next turn. My opponent's playing Lost Box Giratina V, which is not something that I've played against before. So I'm familiar with Lost Box. I kind of know what to expect out of the deck in general. I've just never played the Giratina variety. It seems like everyone's been playing Pikachu lately, so I'm just looking at the card. Seems like their first move is going to let them look at 4 cards and pick 2, so just an advanced Comfy, which is pretty good for them for an opening, I think. It puts their hand size up to 10, which is pretty crazy. I think mine's at close to 10 as well, so we're both kind of sitting in the same boat right now. Got the buddy popping off of the instant charge, so I can get down some Pokemon now, which is fine. Happy with that. And I think I'm just trying to think about what I want to Ultra Ball in this moment, what my goal for the next turn would look like. I don't love my hand, and I'm worried that Rotom is going to get knocked out or something crazy is going to happen before I can use Forest Seal Stone. And then I'm looking at their hand, which has 10 cards in it, so I think I decided to go for like a Lumineon into Iono play here, which I was going back and forth because I do have the Rare Candy and the Charizard EX in hand for next turn already, which I do like, but I'm not just like in love with my position right now, and I'm not in love with them having a 10 card hand either. So that's kind of what drove this decision. I'm not sure if it was the best one to make, but it's the one we ended up with. And I didn't even bother to check to see if Iono was in my deck or prize before I did this, which was a misplay. Should have definitely taken the time to do that first. We'll see what the new 6 we get. So we get an Arven for next turn. We get a Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, which I'm happy with. Probably Nest Ball for just another Charmander, just to be safe. And then we can just instant charge here. Be feeling a bit more comfortable for next turn. Didn't really get anything that we needed, but that's okay. They're just gonna do Lost Box stuff for a while. My opponent was like 10 minutes late to this match, so I was feeling kind of nervous about the clock. I was going back and forth, checking the timer left. I think we had like 15 minutes left in the match at this point. So I was starting to feel the pressure from that, kind of worrying about ending up in a tie, even though they showed up 15 minutes late to the match, which felt like kind of some nonsense, but what are you going to do? They get Giratina V back in the active. And then they use that Abyss move again, which is great for them. I think they have 5 cards in the lost zone at this point. My turn again, time to start doing Charizard stuff. I'm going to want to Arven for a Rare Candy and a Forest Seal Stone, which is fine. Rare Candy, get my Pidgeot active. It's already had it in hand. Then attach the Forest Seal Stone, so at this point I need another Rare Candy and a Charizard. And I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that. I can Ultra Ball for the Charizard, which is what I think I end up doing. I was really going back and forth on it, because I obviously have multiple ways to get the Charizard at this point. I got Quick Search and Forest Seal Stone available to me. Oh, we end up Ultra Balling for it, grabbing it. And then we'll just Quick Search or Forest Steel Stone for a Rare Candy. I think I end up doing both and getting 2 Rare Candies because I want the Dusknoir in play as well. But just taking some time to think, even though I'm looking at the clock, feeling the pressure. Just trying to figure out the best way forward. I'm still newer to this deck, so I don't have like the most comfortable, I'm not as comfortable with it. I've been playing a lot of Ceruledge lately, so that's kind of been more my bread and butter, but Wanted to learn this. Ceruledge is really fun, but it feels like it's been running into some walls for me, so just taking a little pivot, a little break. Probably go back to Ceruledge eventually, but sometimes it's good to just let a deck sit for a little bit. Grab 3 so I can get 2 to Charizard, 1 to Rotom for the retreat. And then here's where I think I misplay a bit, but I'm not sure. I was going back and forth between obviously getting a rare candy, evolving the Dusknoir, checking to see how many rare candies are in my discard. But then what do I want to pop the Dusknoir on? I was debating popping the Dusknoir onto Giratina and then swinging for the knockout there, getting 2 prizes. But then they still have another Giratina and 2 Comfies that they can set up pretty easily for their next turn. They got 5 cards in hand, so there's likely like another switch or another way for them to see both Comfies into the active. So I really don't know what's best if I want to pop the Dusknoir. I'm just checking all my cards here. Pop the Dusknoir on a Comfy or pop the Dusknoir on a Giratina. And that's really kind of what I'm going back and forth in my mind with right now. Still thinking about it pretty hard. If I pop it on a Comfy, it takes away their draw power for next turn. If I pop it on the Giratina, it takes away that for next turn. I end up going with the Comfy. Still don't know if that was the right play to make. I didn't get to see this game play out, unfortunately. So I never got to see if I got punished for this. But let me know what you think if you would have popped the Giratina, because now I'm swinging for 210, which is just under knockout, which feels real bad. Would you have popped the Giratina? Would you have popped a Comfy? Would you have just sat on the Dusknoir and waited for a better turn to use it? I don't know. It's a tough choice to make. Now they're just going to go back to Lost Zone stuff. I think they're nest balling for like a Cramorant here, which is an interesting choice. I guess it's an extra attacker. They wanted to like take out my Charmander or something. This part I was kind of worried about because I know that the Giratina V-Star can attack for 280, so that's a really good knockout on my Pidgeot if they can get set up for it. But I think they ran out of switch cards, or they didn't have one in hand, so they didn't have a way to get the Comfy out of the active here, which is really unfortunate for them. Because they have the Mirage Gate, they get the Giratina all set up, and then he just can't make it to the ball. And that's unfortunate. Why didn't they Mirage Gate an energy onto the Comfy here? Or did they already use their retreat for this turn? No, they didn't. They're just worried about getting the Radiant set up for next turn, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was a misplay. Maybe they should have got the Giratina back in the active and then KO'd the Pidgeot. I think that would have gone a lot better for them. They're sitting on 2 cards right now. So it's not like they were afraid of taking a knockout and getting unfair stamped, because I mean, they're at 2 cards anyway, so who cares? But then they could be worried about me getting back up to 5 cards in my hand. I don't know, just feels like a wasted opportunity. I think I would have rather taken out the Pidgeot EX and taken away the quick search ability. And then at this point in the game, they just kind of, I think they lose their connection. This player was, I think, playing from Japan. So not the most stable connection for them, unfortunately. I think I just end up quick searching for a Charmeleon here, and I regret that. This was a misplay. I played the Arven when I didn't really need it. Ended up just getting the Super Rod. Kind of seemed like, oh, what's in my deck, or what's in my discard. If I could go back in time here, I would have quick searched for a boss, and played the boss and bossed up the Giratina V-Star and knocked that out instead. This is just coming down to me not being super comfortable with the deck right now, and not remembering what all my options are. I just saw all I had for supporters in my hand was Arven, so I just played the Arven without remembering that I could quick search for another supporter. So definitely would have bossed up the Giratina V-Star there. Try to keep quick search in mind better for my next game. And I was like, oh yeah, right here is when I realized I could have gotten the boss. I'm stupid. But that's okay. We live and we learn. So I grabbed the Charmeleon because I know I'm low on rare candies. So I just want to get stage 1 on board so I can get another Charizard if I need it later on down the road. And then retreat into Charizard, throw the Defiance Band on there, I think, just in case I get Iono'd. And then Burning Darkness. I get like a Nest Ball here, yeah. Nothing too crazy, bench is full, can't use it anyways, but it is what it is. And then at this point, they just aren't around anymore, so they time out on choosing their active, and then they time out on making their first move. So, unfortunate way, but that takes a W for game 1 for us. Definitely need a lot more time with this deck to kind of learn what all of my outs and options are, but overall, an okay game 1 for my first tournament with Charizard. I really wish I could have seen if that Lumineon play at the start for Iono would have been punished later, or if my Dusknoir onto Comfy would have come back as an issue, especially since I misplayed again after that and didn't boss up to finish the Giratina V-Star. I think I definitely would have been punished for that. They probably would have used their V-Star ability to knock out my Charizard, or bossed up the Pidgeot to knock that out. And that would have just been a bit tougher to come back from. I still think it would have been a pretty even matchup. Especially because if they knocked out my Pidgeot, I'd be swinging for 270 at that point. I'd have Defiance Band, so 300. So I could knock out just a full health Giratina V-Star, which is good. But yeah, we'll see ya in game 2. Alright, so into game 2, we are playing against a Dragapult Thorns deck, I believe. My opponent wins the coin flip, he'll likely decide to go second. Yep, I'm going to go first, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think if I had won the coin flip, I would have chosen to go second here just because I know that Thorns always likes to go second if possible, so it would have been more important for me to kind of just disrupt his gameplay versus choosing first for myself. That's kind of how Charizard tends to think. First or second kind of works out pretty okay for them. Typically you'll want to go first, but if it's worth disrupting your opponent, you can choose to go second. That's kind of like into your Dragapult Thorns or like Roaring Moon, those kind of decks. I'm not going to bench the Radiant Charizard here because 1, I'm going first, so there's no need to, and 2, I don't want him down yet because it's really easy to gust him into the active and then he just kind of gets stuck. Not much else I can really do during this turn. I think I end up attaching the energy. I was kind of deciding, do I want to do it? Do I not want to do it? I don't care. I'll just attach it. So I think the reason I attach it is because even if he gets a Thorns down this turn, there's no way for him to accelerate 3 energy to the Thorns. So there's no risk of me losing my Charmander here, which is another reason why I didn't bench my Radiant Zard during this turn, because I know Dragapult Thorns really has no way of attacking turn 2. He could potentially get a Radiant Alakazam and then do a Crispin and get enough damage out. He would need a switch too, or a rescue board. So there's a lot of pieces he would need. So it's not impossible, but it's not likely either. Top deck a Rotom V, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Get out an Arven here. Checking my hand to see what I have. I got 2 rare candies, so I don't need any of that. Thinking on the Ultra Ball for now. Gonna prize check real quick. Always the Forest Seal Stone if you have the Rotom available. And we're just gonna kind of look through. Prized an energy for sure. Maybe a couple. Got my Fez. Prized my Dusclops. Not too much of note as of right now. I'm not super great at prize checking at the moment. I usually just kind of look for my main guys, which if you're newer, that's kind of a good way to start, I think. Just look for your key pieces, see if they're prized. Switch out the Ultra Ball for a Buddy Buddy Poffin, because I figure I can just Force Seal Stone for a Charizard, and it's kind of more important to get my bench a bit more fleshed out at this point. Got a Pidgey and a Duskull. And then Forest Seal Stone. At this part, I have a mini panic because I'm looking for that Ultra Ball that I thought I grabbed, but remembered I Buddy Poffin, and I was going to just Star Alchemy for my Charizard. So, go ahead and do that. Get the Charizard in play. Quick knockout onto the Dreepy. And we're feeling pretty good. I got Arven or Iono for next turn, kind of depending on what I need. I'm going to leave some energy in the deck. I really just need the 2 right now. And then, yeah, just go for the swing. Get the knockout on the Dreepy, get this game rolling. Pretty okay start. Prize of Fire Energy. Nothing crazy. He's got his Toedschool. He really needs to start getting some benched Pokemon down. Hopefully he's got an Arven, Buddy Buddy Poffin, Precious Trolley, something to get his kind of hand rolling. He attaches an energy. That's not a great sign for him. We're going to boss up. Probably just try to stall. Yep, boss up the Rotom for the stall. Unfortunately for him, we got that fire energy from the prize. So maybe it was a big deal after all. And then get the retreat. Get the knockout on Zard. Bada bing, bada bop. That's game 2. Alright, game 3. Got a pretty trash opening hand. Started just Cleffa. Waiting for my opponent. I think I lost the coin flip, so I'm going second, and I've got a Cleffa, and they are playing Cloth. So I am real nervous about this one. I don't know what happened to my audio here. There we go. So they opened Brute Bonnet, which is interesting. They got Squawk. They've got Nest Balls. This is looking real bad. I'm not feeling great. I'm just kind of giggling at this point. Not much you can do in these kind of situations. It looks like they just have pretty much everything they need. We'll see how their Squawk and Seize goes. If they get a item card and a... They got their Trapago set up. They got an Ultra Ball, so they're going to get a Sneasler. They got the Brute Bonnet with the Ancient Booster. It's looking like a rip in this one. So they're just going to poison. Thanks to Sneasler, their poison's going to do 30 during Pokemon checkup. I did not draw a backup Pokemon, and we are GG's. We got donked in game 3. Not much to learn from this one. I think the only thing we could have done different there is played the list that has 2 Rotoms and 0 Cleffas. But even then, there's still a possibility that Charmander or Pidgey gets donked. These things just happen, you know? You just kind of get donked and you go next. Coming off that donk! Hopefully we'll get to play this one out a little bit. Terrible start. Got Lumineon and Radzard. If I play Lumineon, I cannot use its ability, and it's basically just a free 2-prizer that's done nothing for me. If I play Radzard, he's got a 3 retreat cost, and he doesn't do anything for me until the end of the game. So he's pretty much just going to sit there. So I'm deciding between trying to figure out what the lesser of two evils is here. Going to go with the Radzard. I think that's going to be better for me. He's just a one prizer. We can work towards the retreat cost or just hope that our opponent takes an early knockout on it. Which is fine, because Charizard likes to play from behind anyways, so even if they take him out, it's not going to be such a bad thing. So I think he's going to be the winning choice over the Lumineon just about every time. Just searching through, seeing what I prized. Looking for the big hits, so we're missing our Unfair Stamp, and unless it's in hand, and we're missing 4 Sealstone. I think that's in hand though. Yeah, 4 Sealstone's in hand. Unfair Stamp is prized though. Just gonna get the 4 Sealstone attached. I know some people like to kind of sit on it in hand. I'm more of an attached kind of guy for now. Maybe I'll figure out the in-hand thing later. Yeah, we'll just insta-charge. Nice Pidgeot for next turn. Feeling pretty good on that one. See what our opponent does. Got a classic Charizard mirror match here. These can be kind of fun. Going for the Arven. Probably going to get Buddy Poffin. Maybe his own 4 Sealstone. Maybe a Nest Ball and a 4 Sealstone. Let's see. Probably going to check his prize cards too. Take his time with it because this is a tournament after all. Playing for seriousness. Buddy Puff, Defiance Band, huh. He either has his 4 Sealstone in hand, or it's prized, or he's just not too stressed about it. Buddy Poffin. Maybe get down another Charmander and a Duskull, or a Cleffa. Let's see. Maybe there's a mirror match, Duskull and Charmander, okay. Maybe there's something in the mirror match that I don't know where you shouldn't use Rotom and 4 Sealstone. I'm not sure. Passes there. Okay, so we've got Radzard stuck in the active still, but we've got a lot of work with outside of that. So we've got our Rare Candy Pidgeot. Get that going right away. Then, looks like we're going to Nest Ball, grab another Charmander just to get set up for later. Got our Fez there, but I don't want to get him on the bench just now. I imagine we'll Ultra Ball, maybe grab a Zard, and then we can use Pidgeot for Rare Candy, and maybe just sit on, yeah, attach return to Radzard, why not? Start building him up. We can either eventually swing or retreat. I don't like discarding Super Rod. I always feel like that's a mistake, but in this case, I think we're okay. Got 4 energy still. So yeah, we'll just grab that Zard. Get another Rare Candy, get him going. Zard up. And I checked, and I did see that we had 4 energy still in hand. So I'm feeling confident enough to throw another energy onto Radzard here. We'll just kind of build him up. If we need to hard retreat, we can. If for some reason they gust around us and take 2 prizes, like they gust and kill the Rotom, then he's a valuable attacker at 3. So I don't feel terrible about it. I've still got 1... Oh, we're just going to insta-charge here. I still got 1 Super Rod in case we need to get those energies back in hand. I've still got my 4 Sealstone active. So that could be a mistake. They might be able to gust and kill Rotom and then take that 4 Sealstone away from me. But I just couldn't think of anything that I really wanted to get with it right this turn. Especially since they may Iono or whatever, you know? They're going to Arven again. Probably going to look for a Rare Candy. Get their Pidgeot online. See if they can start rolling through. Rare Candy, Defiant. Is he run 2 Defiance Fans? Oh, I Iono'd him. He's getting his Defiance Fan back again. Duh. He's got an Ultra Ball. Grab his Pidgeot or his Charizard. This tournament's been going pretty well for me so far. 2-1. Feeling okay going into game 4. Only thing that happened was that donk that I couldn't control, but what can you do? Get the Pidgeot. Must have Rare Candy in hand already, yep. Okay, then he'll probably Quick Search, get his Charmander online. Maybe retreat, take out my Radzard. Or, no, he can't Gust because he already Arvened. Could get a Duskull, Dusknoir going, pop something. Oh, Charmeleon. Get his Cleffa on board. Could retreat and just Grasping Draw. Not a bad move since he knows that I'm stuck for a little bit longer. So might as well take his time and just build up. If that's what he ends up doing, I do have another Iono. Could get him back down to from 7 to 6. Not that that's huge. But I don't have any energy in hand, so I don't have a way of moving Radzard just yet. Buddy Puffin does nothing for me. I could also Ultra Ball, get a Dusknoir. Maybe pop their Charmeleon. Couple options here. I still have my Forest Seal Stone as well, so I could Forest Seal Stone for like another energy. Got a boss's orders too. So we could kill the Pidgeot here. If we Dusknoir, pop onto the Pidgeot, bosses it up, and then Force Seal for another rad energy. Might end up doing that. I don't hate that play. And like I said, we got another Super Rod. Quick Search. Rare Candy. I'm going for the Pidgeot pop, I think. Which that takes away a key resource from them, so it's not a terrible move. And then we just need another fire energy. Feels weird using a Forest Seal Stone for a fire energy, but you're using it for what you need. And at this point, that's what I need. Okay, boss up the Pidgeot. Then pop it. And we'll Burning Darkness for 210, getting the knockout. Get that Fezandipiti on board in case they Iono us. I'm not too worried about Fez being a huge liability here. I mean, of course, oh nice, got the Unfair Stamp on the prize. Of course that's going to be their #1 target if they ever try to gust around Charizard, but kind of fine with it at this point. Yeah, get their Fezandipiti on board, might as well. Get those 3 free cards. So I need to take 2 prizers, so I'm glad that they got their Fezandipiti on their bench at this point, because that means that's another target for me, since I'm not going to be able to one-hit their Charizard just yet. And we can quick search for another boss. I believe we still have one in the discard pile. off. And another Pidgey? Yeah, I guess I could try to get that set back up for later game. It's not bad. I guess one thing that benching the Fez does against me is it gets... I could have used that space for another Duskull, but I didn't have a way of getting one up that turn. Although we do have Thorton, so I could always Thorton away the Rotom for a Duskull. And then that would let me Dusclops immediately that turn, so that's a nice play to have too in the pocket. Fine Span on his Zard because he's behind in the prize race. So he's going to be swinging for 270, which is enough to kill, not my Pidgeot thankfully, but the other two prizers. Counter Catcher, probably the Fez. Yeah, I think benching the Fez there probably was a mistake, honestly. There wasn't really a reason to. Here we Iono. And we've got so much ball search that, yeah, see, I got a Nest Ball, so I could have just got it back off the Nest Ball and he would have killed the Rotom here. And then I could have Nest Balled for Fez. So I think holding off on benching the Fez unless needed is still the right play with Charizard. That's what I typically do with Ceruledge. For some reason Charizard, it just felt like benching Fez early was the right play, but I don't think that's correct. Obviously he's going to retreat, Zard, knock out Fez. And then my next play, I'm looking for a way to get another 2-prizer attacked. He'll be ahead in the prize race now, so I could use a counter catcher. I also have Unfair Stamp out of my prize cards. Not in my hand anymore, but it's out of my prize cards. So I could search for Unfair Stamp, get him from 8 to 2, which would be awesome. But that doesn't, and then hope. Fingers crossed that I get a counter catcher off of that. But we'll see. Defiance Fan, nice. It's a good top deck. Not like, you know, an Unfair Stamp would have been a better top deck, but I'm not going to be mad at a Defiance Band. Looking. Got 3 energy in the disco. Get the Duskull down? Yeah. I mean, otherwise I could have, like, searched for Night Stretcher, got my Fez back, but I'll just get rid of the, I'll just get rid of his Unfair, or Defiance Band. Take that 30 damage away from him from the future. Hopefully that'll be enough to save my Zard eventually, you know? Quick search. Good Unfair Stamp, yeah. I mean, it just seems like the move. Other thing would have been to get a counter catcher and then just kill the Fezandipiti, but with him having 8 cards in his hand, I really didn't like it. We can still use a supporter, so could Arven for the counter catcher now, which is awesome. But I don't have it, and this is another case of me being lazy and not paying much attention to what's in my deck when I'm going through my deck. I'm usually just so hyper focused on the card that I'm looking for at the time that I don't pay attention to what's left, and that's something that I need to start working on. So as if I had known that my counter catcher was not there, I probably would not have Arvened. Does feel kind of like a waste. I don't really need a Super Rod right now. It's not going to do too much for me. It'll help. So we can just grab a rare candy instead, because we have the Duskull, so... no? Yeah, Super Road, because I don't have a Dusknoir. I don't have an easy way to get... I don't really... Yeah, I don't need another Charizard at this moment. I don't think he's going to be taking my Charizard out anytime soon, so... Being ready for another rare candy just didn't seem super necessary. But we are swinging for 270. No, 300. We're swinging for 300 because we have the Defiance Band, because we top decked that. So that will put his Charizard in Dusclops range next turn, and I have an Ultra Ball in hand. So I don't hate that I wasn't able to gust here, because this actually works really, really well for me. He could Turo, so I'm risking that, but with 2 cards in his hand, no Fezandipiti, 3 cards, no Fezandipiti, I'm not super stressed about a Turo. You know, he could be lucky, but we'll see. Looking through his, Turo's definitely not been discarded. He just attacks back, which is perfect for me because now I can Ultra Ball for Dusclops. And then boss up his Fezandipiti and win the game. Just check in, make sure I have that Dusclops, because this time I'm like, oh, I remember to look. Ultra Ball, get rid of this crap, doesn't really matter as long as I don't discard my boss. Grab the Dusclops. Pop onto the Charizard, doesn't matter what he promotes, because I have my boss. So like I said, it was a bit risky, because he could have Turo'd to get an out there, and then probably pretty easily, well, he doesn't, not easily, I mean he would still need to top deck a rare candy to get an attacker back on board. But, you know, sometimes you just gotta gamble a little bit. Probably better players don't gamble as much as I do, but while I'm learning and figuring things out, we're gambling. And that's okay. GG's, good game 4. Move on to game 5. Okay, game 5. Feeling pretty good. 3-1 so far. Going into game 5, we lose the coin toss. Opponent is deciding. They are going to go first. So they have an interesting deck list. This tournament has open deck lists, so I'm able to see what my opponent is playing already. And they have a Palafin EX build that I have never thought about. I've never seen. I have no idea how it works. So I'm really confused going in already. Just not sure what to expect, what to kind of tech for, what to watch out for, what's a priority. So my plan is to just hopefully target down the 2 prizers and just do a quick 2-2-2 6-card prize race, because that's what the turbo player in me knows and loves, so that's what I default to when I'm scared. He's got Petron EX, which at this point in time I have no idea why he has Petron EX. I'm assuming it's for the ability, but I'm kind of newer to that whole scene. Don't really know what that Pokemon does. I know it can move a Pokemon forward. But him playing a switch here really confused me, because I don't understand why he didn't use his ability to move the Morpeko instead of doing a switch. So from this point, I'm thinking that Petron EX cannot get itself out of the active slot because of the way he just played there. I'm assuming that if he didn't need to use a switch, he wouldn't have. And that's going to become very apparent that I don't understand how Petron EX works in just a second. It's also a mindset problem that I have still from playing Ceruledge. I have this mindset of use it or lose it, because I'm just constantly just throwing away my hands, getting new hands, just throwing everything into the discard pile playing Ceruledge. I'm not as used to cards going back into my deck if I don't use them. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh, if I don't use boss's orders, it's just going to get discarded. Might as well just throw the Petron into the active, make him burn another resource to get it back out of the active. So that's why I made this mistake. Not that it's, you know, great, but I filled a a knowledge gap here, because he's able to just Petron himself out of the active spot, which is now something that I know he can do. I don't know why he didn't do it turn 1. Maybe there's something that stops him from doing it turn 1. But that's what kind of threw me off. I've never seen Academy at Night. I still have no idea what that stadium is for. Why would you want to put a card on top of your deck unless... The only thing I could think of was you just want it out of your hand and then shuffled back in. See, why didn't he do this turn 1? That's what I don't understand. He could have just brought up more Peko and then retreated more Peko. He had that play available to him. I don't know why he switched in turn 1. Then he kills my Cleffa, because ¿por qué no? And at this point, I'm feeling okay. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly is going on. I don't have a way to get Pidgeot online. Well, I can get Pidgeot online. I don't have a way to get Charizard online. So I'm kind of stressing about that. Still trying to figure out what the hell this stadium's for. Wondering if I want to put one of my Arvens on top of my deck and then shuffle it back in just to get it out of my hand, but then I have to tell myself I'm not playing Ceruledge. My Arven's not going to get discarded. I'll be okay. So I just go back to the game plan, try to get Pidgeot online. I don't know what we end up Ultra Balling here. Turo, probably. And Briar. Oh, that's right. I regret this. This was a mistake to Ultra Ball Briar. I think I could have won the game at the end if I had him. But no spoilers, of course. So grab the Pidgeot. Get him online at least so I can start using Quick Search. I won't have enough to get Charizard this turn, I don't think. But I do have enough to get Dusknoir. So I'm starting to look at that, wondering if it's worth it to just take out the Bibarel real quick, kill some of his draw power. I'm also looking at his list again, seeing that Petron's really the only 2-prizer that he's got down. So I'm still kind of fixated on Petron a little bit. I really want to get that 2-prize going into my race. Again, that's the turbo player in me, I think. I think I need to switch that mindset over now that I'm experimenting with Zard a bit more. Zard doesn't necessarily need to win in 3 attacks like Ceruledge does. So I think we're just thinking, trying to figure out a plan of action if I want to pop the Dusknoir. Let's quick search for a rare candy. Or if I want to, I don't know what else I could quick search for here. Maybe a Buddy Poffin and just kind of build up my bench a little bit more. Get more set up for like the oncoming turns, because he can't really threaten me with much right now. I mean, he could take out the Charmander, which that's a bummer. But if I Buddy Poffin, get another Charmander up, then I can always, or get my Rotom. This might have been a misplay. Let me know what you think about this one. Trading one quick search for the other, because I don't really need Grasping Draw super bad at this point. I don't feel like that was the right thing to do. I probably should have just quick searched for a rare candy. And I don't know why I put the Divine Span on the Charizard either. I think that's another use it or lose it. This was definitely a misplay. This game, lots of learning opportunities in this one. There was no reason to counter catcher that Petron there, especially... Okay, it's no, there was a reason to. I was gambling. That's right. I figured if I somehow Unfair Stamp a Zard and a rare candy, the gamble would pay off and I could take out the Petron. I get the Zard, don't get the rare candy. Why? And I 4 Seal Stone for the Unfair Stamp. Fezandipiti, one more gamble for that rare candy. Come on, baby, give me the money. Nope, another Zard. So, did not pay off at all. Just wasted another resource, which could really use that counter catcher later. So we'll just instant charge, probably draw a rare candy now. Yep, because that's how it always works when you gamble. You get what you need one step too late. So now he's just going to take out my Charmander, take out my Defiance Band, and that sucks. And I didn't even pop onto the BRL, so he's got more draw power. I think if I played that over, I definitely would have not gotten a Rotom. I would have just quick searched for a rare candy, got the Dusknoir, and then popped the BRL. Although the Unfair Stamp wasn't bad either. I could have quick searched. No, because then I would have gotten rid of Dusknoir like I did. Yeah, I think popping the BRL would have been a better play. See, he does it here again. Just gets himself out of the active. Which later he uses that a lot to get Finn and stuff. So I lose my Defiance Fan, I lose my Charmander. Not stressing too hard because I have another Charmander. Defiance Fan would have been really nice. I don't know why I played that. Definitely should not have. Oh, because I was going to Unfair Stamp and I was gambling. That's why. Yeah, too much gambling in this one. Too much panicking because I didn't know what the heck to expect from this deck. Well, I can get my Charizard online. Now I have all the resources I need. But I don't have a counter catcher. Got 3 energy left. Got 1 in there, so I got 1 prized. Just got a lot of resources, not sure exactly what to burn. Can get the Dusknoir. Now I'll take out the BRL. I wonder, would it be smart to pop and then super rod them back into the deck immediately? Probably. Got a vacuum. I'm wondering if I should take out Academy at Night. I still have no idea why that's on the board, what he's using it for. And I haven't seen him use it yet this game, I don't think. So I'm kind of hesitant to take it out of play for him. Still have 1 more counter catcher, despite burning a boss and a counter catcher. Pop onto the Beebs. I don't think there's a better target there. I don't think popping onto the Morpeko would be more valuable than popping onto the Beebs. Then we can finally kill this stupid Petron EX that's been taunting me this whole game. Been seeing red just looking at that thing. I've used 3 Gust resources on it now, which is definitely a mistake. So I'm feeling okay about the prize race right now. 3 and 3. It's not bad. But I just, at this point, I have no idea what his options are. Like, what does he have left that he can do? I'm looking at the deck list. I'm not understanding it. I know Palafin can come in after some, like, maneuvering shenanigans and then punch for 250, which is not enough to kill Zard, because thankfully this Zard's weak to grass, not water. But he has a lot of health. I think he runs 340, so he's got even more health than I do. So I definitely cannot one-shot him with anything, and he has no more 2 prizes left on the bench. So I'm either going, it's gonna be multiple turns left for me to draw my remaining prize cards. So he's got this thing, Paladin switch it with this Pokemon. Okay, so it has to go from active to bench, then it can get changed into Palafin EX, and then he has to get it back to the active. So that's why he does all this weirdness here. Because he can Petrot, get the Morpeko in, which moves the Palafin from active to bench. So now he's allowed to 0 to hero, get his Palafin EX, and then Morpeko has free retreat because he doesn't have any energy attached. Got my Fez, now he's just down to 1 card left. And this is a real rough spot for me to be in. Because I don't have my Defiance Band. Because I attached it to that Charmander for no reason. If I had my Defiance Band, I would have been able to one-hit the Palafin here. Don't know why I'm checking my energy there. I got 1 boss left, potentially. Super Rod. Probably get my Dusknoir line of energy just in case. Oh, Fez, yeah. Porque no. Why a Charmander? I don't think I need a Charmander. Oh, I can't get my Dusknoir line back into play because he only has 1 prize card left, so it's useless to me. Build up a second Zard, just in case. I think this does actually end up helping me, but not enough. So I don't hate this play. It was there, it was easy to get to, it was, you know, pretty ready to go. I end up finally just getting rid of that stadium because I just have no idea if it's gonna like win in the game or what the hell it's gonna do. And then I think I Ultra Ball, yeah. I don't know if I love that play, but you know, it gets me a Fez, so more cards. And this is an excellent Iono. Very happy with this. Doesn't really get me much. Nothing that I need right now. But I still got Flip the Script, and I still got Quick Search. Got my boss, but I can't use it because I Iono'd. So this is where another counter catcher would have really saved the day. But I just don't have it. Nothing else is really making sense to me, so I'll just grab the Iono in case I need to disrupt him again. And then this feels bad, man. We just got a Burning Darkness for 330. Could have taken it if we had the Defiance Band. I don't want to click it just because of how bad it feels to miss it by 10. That Palafin EX, it's an interesting deck. I can see why it's not super popular, but I can definitely see why he's playing it at the same time. It looks fun, looks interesting. I like seeing decks that I've never seen before. Really gives my brain a hard time, but that's how we grow. So I'm excited every time I run into something like this. And it looks like at this point he's just trying to set up another Palafin, which is awesome for him. And then if he can just Gust, I mean, he can just punch my Fez or Rotom, and then he wins. I don't know why he didn't pull up the other Dolphin and set up just like another Palafin EX there. At this point, I wonder if, I think I boss up the Palafin, because, or do I boss up the Fez? I wonder at this point if bossing up the Fez is like the better move, just to kind of keep him down to 2 cards. Or retreat this Zard, because you can one-punch him with the Dolphin. He has 2 outs to Dolphins right now. I think I should have bossed up the Fez. I think that would have been a lot smarter. If I had bossed up the Fez, he could have evolved another Palafin and just hit for 250. With only 2 prize cards, or 2 cards left in hand, he has less of a chance of having a Gust. But he's able to flip the script now for 3. And it's a pretty low chance for a gust either way. But I think denying him those cards, he gets the Iono. I don't see... And then he Ionos into TM Devolution. Okay. Okay, gambling man. I forgot that's how this one ended. Well, good for him. What a draw. Yeah, lots of mistakes there. That's kind of typical when you're playing against a deck for the first time, so I'm not too mad at myself for it. I don't want to sound like I'm super down on myself. But we learned a lot, and that's always good. Alright, this is game 8. I forgot to record game 6 and 7. Game 6, I fought against another Thorns Dragapult, and he, in true Thorns Dragapult fashion, had a really bricked hand. So he pretty much just had Radzam in the active for a while, not really doing much. And I was kind of just able to get my setup going real fast and then whittle him down pretty quickly. And then game 7 was super bad. I went up against a Cornerstone Ogerpon control stall type of situation. I spent all of my resources setting up my Charmeleon, thinking that he would be able to attack the Ogerpon. So I got everything ready to go for a Dusknoir Pop Charmeleon Punch with Defiance Band to do 210 damage to the Ogerpon. And then I realized that my Charmeleon has an ability, and I forgot to think. So I popped the Dusknoir, get Charmeleon into the active, go to attack, realize I can't, realize I've spent all of my resources to get here. The only other benched Pokemon he has is Mimikyu at this point, so none of my remaining Pokemon can attack it. I had a Charmander prized, my other Charmander was in the discard. Like, I could have Super Rotted, Night Stretcher, got that Charmander back, but his Ogerpon already had 3 energy on it at that point, so it was punching for 120. I just conceded. I blew my load on the wrong thing, and we just scooped and went next. So now we're in our last match against a Goldango deck. What's interesting about this one, though, is that he has Palkia in his deck, which is not something I've seen a Goldango player run before. And I don't think it's entirely optimal. I can see why he's doing it, because it gives an awesome pivot into Moonlight Shuriken, which is good against Charizard. Especially because I don't run Manaphy in this deck. So like it's a solid option to have, and it does kind of do some work against me in this game, but I just don't see it being as useful as just running like a straight Gimmighoul Goldango with like Togekiss type of situation. I think that's still better. But I like seeing people experiment with new things in these tournaments. I think a lot of people use these for testing grounds, which is super fun. Because I mean, shoot, you get first place and you get 20 like code cards. Who cares? I mean, it's cool. Like, I'm not saying that you should feel proud of yourself if you get first, but like, if you lose, it's not like, you know, you're not paying to be here. You're not traveling to be here. It's pretty risk-free, but a good way to play against people that are going to take the game a little bit more seriously than just quick play on live. So it's a good testing ground, I think, which is why I'm here playing Charizard today, to try to kind of build up my skill set, figure some things out. So he's got his Palkia, he's got his Radiant set up. I have a feeling he's going to be able to get Moonlight Shuriken online next turn, but I've got 2 Charmanders on the bench. I can get Pidgeot set up this turn, so he'll be safe. So I'm not like super stressing about it. You can see I went to bench Fezandipiti but I'm probably not going to because of what happened that previous game in this tournament. And I think I even go so far as to just discard the bird. I'll get you back with a Super Rod or a Night Stretcher if I need you later. And that, I think this is a mistake too, but that's kind of like, in my Ceruledge deck I run 4 Night Stretchers, so I usually just discard my Pokemon anyways, because it's easier to get them back with a Night Stretcher than it is with like a Ultra Ball. So I think that's another bad habit I need to break, or just pay attention to a little bit more. Rare Candy Defiance Fan, my 4 Seal Stones prize this game, which is unfortunate, so I don't have access to that. But we can still get Charizard online, get that Rare Candy going. Don't have a Gust because we used Arven this turn. Would have been... I mean, there's nothing really we could have taken out anyways. Can't hit the Palkia for 240 right now, so... Not a big deal to not have a Gust. We'll just swing on the Gimme Ghoul. Enjoy those giant numbers. I've got 2 energy in hand, so I throw one on the Charmander. And then Burning Darkness for weakness. Get that big bop. I think at this point too, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that Charizard is swinging for Dark. At the end of the game, there's a moment where I miscalculate math. It doesn't end up punishing me, but it definitely threw me off, thinking that I was swinging with Fire instead of Dark. Yeah, he gets his Palkia going. He gets his Moonlight Shuriken set up now. He still needs to find a way to discard a bunch of water energy, which with this deck is kind of clunky. I mean, he can use like Cypher Maniacs and other stuff like that to get them into the discard pile. So it's not like impossible, but it's definitely, it takes some doing. It's not like a free discard. You see, he's gonna have to Lumineon for Cyphers, I think, yeah. So like I said, it takes a bit of setup. That's why I think that it's maybe not the most beneficial, because he has to spend a lot of resources to get the Moonlight Shuriken online. I mean, he's got 2 Pokemon. He's got a trainer. And he's got to like go through, he's got to use a couple items, because I think he needs to use like an Earthen Vessel and an Ultra Ball just to get the water energy into the discard. And then he can attach from hand, and then he can accelerate 2 water energy from the discard pile. All of that to take out Charmander and Duskull, which I already have a Charizard online at this point in the game. I already have my Pidgeot online at this point in the game. So maybe if he had gone first, it would have been more worth, because then he could have done it his second turn and gotten them out before I evolved. So I think then it would have been more worth like the resource load that it took to get all of this going. But with my main engine and my main attacker already online at this point, I just don't think it was worth it to go through all of this just to kill an extra Charmander and a Duskull. And I think that ends up costing him the game. He's got his Fez, so he gets this extra draw, which is always nice. But I'm kind of glad to see that Fez at this point too, because now I can boss kill it next turn. Again, yeah, he uses Hyper Blower here. I mean, maybe he's just, you know, I think that was just like thinning to winning for him at this point. I can't imagine he was doing that with any kind of like intent to gain an advantage. I mean, I'm not trying to say this guy played poorly at all. He played very, very well. I just think that his resource management was a little unoptimized. But that's okay. My resource management most of the time is quite unoptimized as well. So he gets the 2 prize cards here. Gets the knockout on Duskull and Charmander, which is a bit annoying, but I think I can get them set back up fairly quickly. This is good too, because it puts me back behind in the prize race. So now I can use like my Defiance Fan, which you can see I hung on to this time. I did not just, and then I top deck a Buddy Poffin. So yeah, real rough for him. And he has, this is the other thing, is he has no way of using Moonlight Shuriken a second time, because he would have to manually attach from hand at this point 2 turns just to get Moonlight Shuriken online, and there's no way that's ever going to be worth it. So I just Super Odd, get my things back into the deck, and then I can Buddy Poffin. I wasn't sure if I had prized a Charmander, which it looks like I did, so I'm glad that I Super Odded there. I could have kept them in the discard pile for a potential Thorton play later, which might have been a good idea, but I didn't have like the resources right now, and my hand size is kind of small to get that like going, so I wanted to just get them back on the bench, especially since, like I was saying, there's no way that he can Moonlight Shuriken a second time with that setup. So I already have Boss in hand. I don't need it, but I figured Unfair Stamp, he has a 9-card hand. Definitely time to Unfair Stamp here. Make sure to Boss first, so that we don't... Yeah, double checking my damage there. I wanted to see if I could kill the Palkia, but again, that's not really a threat because you'd have to spend 2 turns manually attaching energy to get the Palkia online. So now we Unfair Stamp, which I'm very happy with that play. I'm glad I didn't grab the Fezandipiti like I was looking at. Cannot Dusclops this turn, but it's nice to have it for next turn. And we got a Counter Catcher ready to go too, but we'll be ahead on prizes, so we won't be able to use that this turn. Let's see what we get. Don't need either of those, but that's okay. So he's got 2 cards in hand. He can hopefully he can Concealed. Get a couple more draws going. He's got his Buddy. Let's see, just gonna another Gimme Ghoul, of course. I know he discarded a Goldango earlier. I don't know if he's running 2 or 3 in this setup, so he might be running low on options for attackers at this point too. He can't attack with the Greninja, so he's probably gonna end up having to retreat. And then, I don't know, what do you do? Like, he needs Fezandipiti, but he doesn't run Night Stretchers, I don't think. Yeah, he just has to retreat and pass, so really bad spot for him to be in. Get another Duskull on the bench. I don't think I want to evolve yet, because I can, see, I almost just like knee-jerked evolved that Dusclops there, but then I realized that I have a rare candy in hand and I have a quick search available, so I can find the Dusknoir instead and get that online. If I had evolved with Dusclops, I would not have been able to get the Dusknoir online this turn, and then I can take out his Greninja and get rid of even more draw power, keeping him just as crippled down at... he'll have 3 cards next turn and no way to get more. So I was just kind of thinking about that, trying to figure out how I wanted to order my operations here. Maybe I think I want to use Quick Search for something else, so I'm grabbing an Ultra Ball instead. But I don't think that's right, because I don't need it. I can just Quick Search for the Dusknoir. But I also don't need Charmander and Pidgeot, so that's a pretty easy Ultra Ball there too. And then... Quick Search. See, I can't... If I get a boss, I could boss up the Lumineon, which would be pretty sick. Oh no, I Arvened. So I probably should have Quick Searched for the Dusknoir. No, but then I wouldn't have gotten boss. Huh. I get boss for next turn, I think. Yeah, because I had to Arven for the Ultra Ball to get the Dusknoir. And then just boss for next turn. I guess that's fine. Like, if I had quick search for Dusknoir, I still would not have been able to boss. And then I would have just Arven'd for what? Nothing. Oh, I could have Arven'd for Ultra Ball, and then Ultra Ball'd for Lumineon, and then Lumineon'd for boss. And I could have taken all 3 prize. I could have won this turn if I had done that. No, I couldn't have, because I would have I Arven'd for Ultra Ball, so I can't use boss. What am I talking about? I'm like losing my mind. Well, I mean, I know he's got like, even if he can get his Goldango online, and for some reason he just happens to have like a superior energy retrieval, a Goldango in hand, like, okay, so he can get his Goldango, but then what? Like, he needs to have a superior energy retrieval in hand too, because he's already used. He used Energy Search, and then I Unfair Stamped him after he used Energy Search, because he used Energy Search, but then he changed his mind and used all of his resources to get me my Shuriken online. So I know that, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable. Arven's not a bad one draw for Iono. But I don't really need it at this point. I mean, if he Pokestops an Energy Search here, that's pretty great. He gets his coin bonus for 2. I mean, he's really just like, he's got to hit that energy. Oof. Yeah. I was gonna emote, but then I figured that'd probably be bad manners in a tournament. I don't typically emote anyways. I think I was just gonna do like the sad face, like that sucks. But sometimes that can come across as like snarky, so I decided not to. But man, he's really, yeah, he's just kind of up a creek at this point. I think he's Ultra Balling, and then he just fails the Ultra Ball, because what are you gonna get? I got a gimme goal. Yeah. But like, oh yeah, he counter catches up my Rotom. Just praying to Jesus that he can stall one more turn. But everything here has 1 prize, so all I have to do is quick search for fire energy. I have 2 left. Just double checking to make sure I'm not missing anything, but I'm pretty sure I can just fire energy retreat at this point. See, I was checking his weakness there, seeing that he was weak to fire, and I'm like, oh, I don't even have to do the math because he's weak to fire, so I'm going to kill him no matter what. And then I get up there and realize, oh shit, he's not weak to fire, but thankfully the math worked out in my favor anyways. So we get the knockout. Get the win on game 8. I think I went 5 and 3 in the tournament overall.